We're currently on our way down to Normanton at the moment. Back in 1979, there was an occurrence of a UFO landing, or supposed UFO landing, and alien sighting. Alright, so we're approximately 100 yards away from where the UFO landed. This is the backyard in which it was seen. So we are officially at the field. This location
is highly
filled with electromagnetic. Road from that place, a car that I hadn't even seen just started following us from there, and to show them, he's been riding our ass, like flat out riding our ass. It's some black car.
As recently as the last couple weeks, UFO sightings have become more and more frequent, and even our own governments have become more open to the idea of unidentified flying objects, such as this.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
With more and more strange occurrences and UFO reportings every single day, I've decided to take a look back at how UFOs and aliens may have actually impacted humankind throughout history. From eerie cave paintings from ancient tribes, to extraterrestrial ships being featured in numerous medieval to Renaissance paintings. It makes you question, what is their purpose for coming here? So this brings us to a story a little more close to home, at least for me. No more than 20 minutes from where I currently reside lies a town called Normanton, where one of the UK's most infamous UFO sightings occurred. With over 7 witnesses to confirm what had occurred, the story goes something like this. On a hot summer day, a group of children were playing in a field behind their house when what appeared to be a UFO landed in the middle of the field right before them. The craft was of a saucer shape, and without hesitation, the children very quickly ran home to go and inform their mother what they had just occurred, stating that they believed an airplane had just landed in the field. Their mother, only a few hundred yards away, was standing in the backyard of the field and looked out to see 3 extraterrestrials in all silver suits standing outside of the craft. Upon interview from the Yorkshire UFO Society, they had given testimony that they saw these spacemen using a strange black object before taking off. Now, what were they doing down there? I want to find out, but first, we must figure out where exactly did they land. These are the 3 clues provided that helped me figure out exactly where I was looking for. First, I took to Google Satellite, where I mapped out the entire border of Normanton. From there, I had to find all of the electrical pylons and find out exactly where are the only ones that run through a field that go along a border of houses that run within a cul-de-sac. There were only 2 fields in Normanton that had electrical pylons within them, but only one of those fields had houses that actually had cul-de-sacs within them. After figuring that out, it was quite simple to figure out where this craft landed. On top of that though, after mapping out where all of the electrical pylons are, I noticed something interesting, that in one spot there was a big area where grass was not growing. Grass not growing where a UFO has landed is actually a very common trait and was a big clue that this was the right place. With our coordinates in hand, we now set off to look for answers as to why UFO would come to our planet.
Hey guys, Andrew and Alex of Team Proven Demons here, paranormal investigators. We're currently on our way down to Normanton at the moment. Back in 1979, there was an occurrence of a UFO landing, or supposed UFO landing, and alien sighting, where 3 extraterrestrial beings supposedly came out of this craft. We have determined the location of where this took place, and we're currently heading down there to investigate it ourselves, check the surroundings, try some experiments and research, and just see what we can come up with. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, you know I love my aliens. I can't wait. I hope we do spot something. I'm always looking at the skies to see if we ever see anything that shouldn't be there. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get some activity of some kind.
Most definitely. So we'll go ahead and get back to recording once we get closer. So pretty much all over the world, especially here in the UK, there have been so many reportings of UFO sightings lately. I mean, it's even breaking national headlines. kind of got this idea that maybe checking out some of these old UFO landing sites where strange occurrences were happening, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go back and see if we can get any additional information as to why this is happening, or just to even see if there's any occurrences still happening there. Surprisingly, this Normantown event is, or was, widely known at the time, but not many people talk about it that much anymore. The Yorkshire UFO Society definitely still marks this as one of their most impressive events after the last time I saw an interview by them. So it should be quite interesting to have a look around the site and just see what we can pick up, if anything at all. So we're approximately 100 yards away from where the UFO landed. Yep. We're going to be going up that dirt path right in front of us and walking up to the site. So honestly, to me, it is crazy to think that extraterrestrials, roughly 50 years ago, actually landed out in this area. To be fair, it's not too bad of a place. I mean, it's just large fields. You could see a UFO attempting to land here. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult. But it's curious because they apparently showed up near these pylons that we'll be running into. And, I don't know. Apparently they picked up some kind of object off the ground. They landed for the purpose of picking up a black object that, in a way, looked almost like a flashlight or a torch. So, this is the start of it. Coming up to one of the pylons where they landed. Presumably one of those houses that are only a few hundred yards away. This is the backyard in which it was seen. So we are officially at the field. Officially here. Alright, so we're here. Can you shine your light at that? We found the pylon we were looking for. This here is the very field that the supposed UFO landed and aliens touched ground back in 1979. Just to confirm, anyway, that there are high levels of EMF in this location. This is Tesla, by the way, our EMF bear. Alright, well, I can confirm this location
is highly
filled with electromagnetic radiation. And it doesn't surprise me because we are actually underneath a pylon at the moment. But it is interesting. Is this one of the reasons why a craft would land here? You know?
It makes sense. Maybe the pylons form some form of grid that they can get electricity from or energy from.
Maybe.
Actually, they do. Right in the middle, because there's two sets. Look, that's how I think if I can...
Yeah, there's the electric wires on
where
the right.
this is, if you go follow that light all the way up there, is a pylon in front of us there. You can't see it, unfortunately, but then to the right as well is another mini pylon. This whole grid that we're standing in here is just a grid with electricity all around us.
Yeah. So yeah, it does beg the question, is that one of the reasons why an extraterrestrial would come here or a spacecraft would land here? Because of such a high level of EMF. I mean, interestingly enough, just being in this spot, you can really feel it. You can hear it, to be fair.
It's buzzing.
It's buzzing very loud. It makes you wonder, why here? I am actually going to attempt a very quick, in the paranormal field we call this our spirit box, but there have also been thoughts that radio is another way to speak with extraterrestrial as well, to see if you can in any way ask out for them to try and get some information from them. I honestly haven't the slightest clue, nobody does, why this particular location is why they chose to land and what exactly they were doing that day. But it's definitely worth a shot to see if we can pick up on anything. Alright. I'm asking out for any kind of sign of extraterrestrial life. Anything at all. if you by chance are extraterrestrial, not of this Earth, could you say something on the lines of Earth, if you're aware that you're either not from it or you're aware I'm speaking or trying to speak to you from Earth? I heard we're here.
I heard we're here as well.
That's an odd one. Alright, I heard we're here very clearly. Now, I know this isn't the same as trying to communicate with spirit, which will try to validate our responses by repeating a word back for us. But if you could attempt to do that where you understand what I'm saying, could you say, I understand you, or I understand? Louder, please. Weird, I thought I heard it. I was once told through a radio that someone was not from this planet. Is that the case here? Are you not from this planet? That's an odd thing. Got something.
What was that?
What?
No, that.
I don't know. Hold on. Oddly enough, we got something, like a very faint, what almost sounded like an attempt to speak. I'm not sure. If there's anybody out there in the skies tonight who could possibly hear me as I stand here where a craft is supposedly landed many years ago, would you show yourself for us? I mean, we came all the way out here. Is there anybody out there at all? It's been very interesting coming here tonight. I've never been to a UFO landing site. I didn't know what to expect here. Hopefully we will actually be checking out some crop circles here in the next month or so. Possibly during the daylight. Hopefully during the daylight, actually. But as far as coming here, it's just been interesting, you know? Well, after we did some stargazing, looking out for any kind of UFOs, experimenting with the spirit box radio and everything else, I guess one thing I have to say is it's not like it is in the movie, being a real life men and woman in black.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same breath, it was really interesting getting to go to a supposed landing site. I might check it out in the daytime sometime. I am looking forward to checking out some crop circles in the future as well. But overall, it was nice to get out and see it all, and I will review the evidence we captured and see if we got anything interesting. What are your thoughts, being a woman in black?
It was good to be an MIB, well, a WIB. Yeah, it's unfortunate the infrared light that just died on us, so we couldn't actually film in night vision. it was quite weird how the clouds parted above us, and everywhere else was cloudy, and there was just stars, like all the stars were above us. The pylons, they're interesting. They set my anxiety off a lot. I'm quite happy to be sat in the car. I do not like being near that much energy. But other than that, it's fascinating to have been there and to have set foot where extraterrestrials have actually visited. Still trying to work out why they did, but it was a good experience. It's just a shame about the light, really.
Yeah, overall, it's what could be expected visiting a landing site in the middle of the night. But again, I don't even know what we caught on radio yet. We might have actually got something quite interesting. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Until then, though, we end it as we always do.
Do you believe yet?
Funnily enough, as soon as we pulled out of the road from that place, a car that I hadn't even seen just started following us from there. And to show them, he's been riding our ass, like flat out riding our ass. It's some black car. I'm not saying it's relating, but I do find it fascinating that we were on a dead-end road. I didn't see any vehicles. The next thing I know, I see this car speeding out from the road we were at and is now tailing us. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If we get pulled over, though, for any reason, then I'm just going to say it's pretty clear what the fuck is going on. Anyway. Alex, just keep your camera handy. We'll keep driving. If there's any more updates, I'll have her start filming instantly.